So I am about to start dyeing my bundles. I'm re-dyeing them from the burgundy I already had in before. So once I get done with that, I'll show you guys how I am dyeing it and then when it is done. Okay, so I'm about to get ready to dye my bundles. It was already burgundy color I used, but this burgundy just looked too much red than burgundy. So I start off with squeezing the first bottle on each of the bundles. I'm about to run out of this bottle and I'm gonna end up using the other one once I rub all that in. I use a trash bag to put down instead of like a towel or something so it wouldn't stain the table. And don't mind my little Dollar Tree kitchen gloves. That's the best thing for me to use so that it doesn't stain my hands. And I don't like the blue gloves because the blue starts to rub off. I had to move it up some more because this one was long. I had a 16. I'm doing an 18 one right now. And then this the 20. I'm rubbing that one in. And then I'm going to do the same with the 22 inch. When I get too close to the camera, you might see it start to get a little darker. That's just because my hand is getting close. Now I'm trying to use a comb on the 16 inch to try to comb it in. But it wasn't as easy with the comb because the teeth too small. I'm going to end up switching to my wig brush. But for now, I'm just going to rub them all in real good. And as you see my pregnant belly, that's my little man in there cooking. So then I start putting some on the brush to rub on my closure. I made sure I was extra careful when I got on my closure because I did not want to dye the lace. And especially where my middle part is going to be. And I'm just making sure I get it all covered nice and neatly. And make sure I cover it around the whole area. I start combing it in some to make sure it was straight when I added the dye because I didn't want it to look uneven on certain parts. I'm still combing it in. Because that's the most important part is the closure. No one is going to see the bundles like that, but the closure is right up there at the top. Everybody see that. I'm still just combing that in. I had to make sure it was perfectly laid. Okay? Look at that closure, y'all. Beautiful. I had to move my camera up some because I had to make sure you guys could see it because I was holding it up and the camera was too far down. So then I went and used the dye from the other bottle of dye I had and start putting more on my other bundles. Since I had extra, added that on there. Get it all nice and pretty. Even though this color was pretty, I just wanted a darker look for the winter time. It was so pretty, isn't it, you guys? And I start rubbing it in. Make sure it's all mixed up good. And I'm going to get my wig brush and start brushing it. This little cheap wig brush I got from, I think, Dollar Tree, if I'm not mistaken. And you can see how darker it's starting to look. The hair was already damp before I put the rinse on. These are rinses I'm using and not dyes. I meant to say that. I used the Burgundy Envy, number 79. And I'm I'm still adding more dye just to make sure it's all covered up very nicely. And I'm going to keep brushing it until it's all even. Like, I have 4 bundles in a closure, and I only used 2 bottles of dye, which worked perfectly. When I first did my color, I used the water method, and I think that's why it came out so light. Me just dyeing it regular, the color came out perfect. And I'm just brushing it out some more, adding more dye to make sure it's full and pretty. Make sure I get in between, because most people just do the outside and always forget about the inside. So I made sure that was all covered. I'm rubbing all up in there. And now I'm about to do the 22 inch. Same way as I did the other ones. I started to run out of that one, but I already had all the hair covered. I'm one of those people that like to get down to the last drop, so if it's still enough in there where I can shake it out and add it, I'm gonna do it. Like right now, I'm about to beat it so I can put some more. See? More comes out, get your money worth. When I get too close to the camera, it starts to look dark, but you guys see. And now I'm just making sure. Now you can see how all of it is covered with the dye, and it's all even. And you can see how dark it is already just by adding it that fast. From how it was to how it is now. See, that's why the middle counts. You can see how light it was. Then when I start rubbing the dye in, it was already turning darker. In my closure, as you can see. Okay, so I started putting the rinse on my hair. I'm re-rinsing the hair I already started with. So this is what it looked like now. I'm about to show you guys. It looked dark because it's a burgundy, but it made the hair look darker than what it was. It was real light, so that's the first one. What was this? I think it was a 16. Yep, 16 inch, 18 inch hair. I did 20 right there. I was supposed to wrong 20, and then 22 inch. And then the closure, I already did the closure. Don't worry about it. If you see some on the lace, I'm gonna clean all that up. And I'm gonna let it sit for 20 minutes before I wash it. So when the 20 minutes is done, I'm going to wash this hair, and then I'm going to let it sit and air dry. And then I'll show you guys after it air dry what color it looks like. As you can see now, my bundles are done. A little pink right there, it looked like that in the light, but it's not. It's because of the pink on the thing, but it's not that pink. It's not at all. See, I'll lift it up. With a little bit of red, you might see it's gonna get cleaned off right up here. That's all that matter up there. And see my bundles, how dark they are now. They was real light. You see before they was real light, now they darker. They was more red than burgundy. Now they more burgundy. So once they dry, I'm gonna let them air dry first. And when they done air drying, I'm gonna flat iron it, and I get my hair done tomorrow. So I got a lot of stuff to do.